Hi, I'm Sally Morin, and I'm a personal injury attorney practicing in California. And today, I'm excited to talk to you about how to prepare a really great demand letter. Okay, disclaimer. You're not going to learn everything you need to know on how to make a great demand letter just from a 5-minute or even a 10-minute video. So that's why I've also prepared a step-by-step guide to crafting a killer demand letter, which is available on my website for free download. The link is below in the video description. Okay, what is a demand letter? Well, it's probably one of the most important parts of your personal injury case. This is your chance to lay out all the facts step by step from start to finish with all the medical records and other evidence in a nice package and present it to the insurance carrier so they can evaluate your case. The better the demand letter, the better the settlement offer. I've been in this business for over 20 years and I've seen a ton of terrible demand letters. You don't want to be one of those people. And that's why I've created this video and my step-by-step guide. It's to help people like you get the leg up and craft the best demand letter possible so you can get a fair settlement. So let's go. Okay, one of the first major steps in preparing a great demand letter is to gather all the evidence related to your case. So evidence would be things such as medical records, medical bills, witness statements. Check out my free guide for other suggestions on pieces of evidence that might relate to your case. One important tip, though, is remove your Social Security number from any documentation you provide to the insurance company. Okay? And also, go ahead and redact any irrelevant information that's in those records. Irrelevant information would be anything not related to your case or not related to the injuries you suffered. Okay, now we should be ready to sit down and write this thing. Okay? But only if you're done with your medical treatment. So let's say your doctor told you need another surgery next week. You're not ready to start writing your demand letter. Okay, but let's assume you're done with all your treatment, then you're ready to write your demand. Okay? The first section is going to be the facts section. You're going to want to start that off with a little introduction about who you are, your age, your occupation, your family status. Believe it or not, these are factors the insurance company uses to evaluate your claim. Okay? The next section of the facts is going to be liability. And then here's where you want to discuss who caused the accident. Remember, you're being an advocate for yourself when you're writing this demand letter, so you want to shed the best light possible on your case. But you don't want to lie or exaggerate. Okay? So you're going to want to explain how the accident was caused by the other party. And then at the end of the facts section, you want to mention a little bit about how the accident was the cause of any injuries you're claiming in the case. You're going to go into a lot more detail about that in the later section of the demand, but you do want to mention it here as well. So now the next section of your demand letter is going to be the bulk of this letter. Okay, this is the damages section. Damages are the losses or the expenses that you incurred as a result of the accident. And here you want to lay out your damages in chronological order and in great detail, so that the insurance adjuster knows what you went through with regard to your medical treatment and your recovery process. Okay, I've got 2 tips for you here to make the most impactful damages section possible. The first one would be to lean towards using objective evidence over subjective evidence. Objective stuff would be x-rays, medical bills, doctors' written opinions. Subjective is more like your own opinions and feelings about how things should have been. Those are actually relevant but not as impactful to the insurance company as the objective evidence. Okay? Second tip would be to use impactful photos. So for instance, if you have pictures of your x-rays, surgery photos or scarring, before and after photos, things that you would want to insert into the body of your letter. That way, as the insurance adjusters are reading the letter, they're seeing these images and they're getting more of a feeling of like how the accident impacted your life, as opposed to them seeing them as attachments after they've already read the letter. Okay, so in the damages section, you want to make sure cover 2 major categories of damages. Those are special damages and general damages. Special damages are your economic damages, things like medical bills, your loss of earnings, or let's say you had to hire a dog walker because you couldn't walk. That's also part of your special damages. General damages, on the other hand, are the more esoteric type of damages, things like your pain and suffering, your loss of enjoyment of life, and those are also compensable. But you have to show that every element of damage that you're claiming is directly linked to the accident. So for instance, take the dog walker example. The insurance company is only going to compensate you if you can like show a doctor's note that says you can't walk for 2 weeks, and then you hire the dog walker. If you don't have that sort of evidence, it won't be linked to the accident, and the insurance company probably won't pay for that. At the end of your damages section, you're going to want to create a nice chart that itemizes each element of damages, okay? So it's going to describe the damage and then have a dollar amount on the right-hand side. This includes your special damages and your general damages. Then you're going to create a total at the bottom. Okay, this number is going to be more than the amount you ask for at the end of your demand. We'll talk about this more in the next section. If you want to make sure you're including all the elements of damages that you're entitled to, take a look at our free guide. We've got some ideas there for some types of damages you may not have included in your claim, but that you're entitled to. Okay, so in the previous damages section, you created a chart, itemized all the damages, and created a grand total. Okay, those itemized numbers should be based upon the full value of what you think you would get for each of those elements if you took the case all the way through trial. Okay? If you're watching this video and you're creating a demand letter, you're not looking to go to trial. That's why in the demand, you're going to ask for a number that's less than the number that's on that chart. Okay? So let's say you're willing to accept $100,000 for your case. You don't want to ask for $100,000 because the insurance carrier is not going to just say, great, that's a great number, let's do it. They're going to want to undercut that. So you want to leave room for negotiation. So if you want to settle for 100, you want to ask for more than 100, but you don't want to ask for the number that was on your chart because that's the trial number. So you want to pick a number somewhere in the middle. This is probably the toughest part about a personal injury case is the valuation, but pick a number that's fair and not unreasonable. You also want to add a deadline to your demand, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. You want to give the adjuster a hard deadline on when they have to provide you with an offer. But note that if you don't have an attorney, that deadline doesn't have a whole lot of teeth to it. So if you're really willing to take the next step, you might want to mention in the letter that if the adjuster doesn't reply by the stated deadline, that you're going to seek legal counsel. So believe it or not, that is a brief overview on how to write a great demand letter. I can't possibly go into every detail that it requires to write a great demand letter in one video. So I encourage you to go to our website and download the free guide, the step-by-step guide on how to craft a killer demand letter. Also, I have a ton of other videos on YouTube that address individual points that were in this video. Take a look at those. If you still have questions after checking out the guide and my other videos, go ahead and post those below. Okay, good luck.